Hello everyone. In this video, we will understand the nature and causes of faults in a power system in very simple language. Let us begin. First, what is meant by the nature of a fault? A fault is simply an abnormal condition in an electrical system. Normally, insulation keeps the phase conductors separated from each other and also from earth. But when the insulation strength reduces, a fault condition starts to develop. This reduction in insulation can happen between one phase and another phase, between a phase and earth, or between a phase conductor and any earth metal part surrounding it. However, just reducing the insulation is not always called a fault. It becomes a fault only when it affects the electrical system. For example, it may cause excess current to flow, or reduce the impedance between conductors or between a conductor and earth to a value lower than the normal load impedance. Only then does the system experience a fault. Now let us see where faults are more likely to occur. A power system has many components such as generators, switchgear, transformers, transmission lines, and distribution circuits. Since all these components are connected in a large network, failures can occur somewhere in the system sooner or later. Among all these components, power lines have the highest chance of faults. Why? Because power lines are very long and remain exposed to the atmosphere. Due to this greater length and outdoor exposure, they experience faults more frequently. Now let us understand the main causes of faults. The causes can be classified into two categories. First cause, breakdown at normal voltage. Sometimes the insulation breaks down even though the system voltage is normal. This can happen because the insulation has deteriorated over time, or due to unexpected incidents. Examples include birds sitting on the line, snakes accidentally causing short circuits, or tree branches coming in contact with the line. All these can damage the insulation and create a fault. Second cause, breakdown due to abnormal voltage. In this case, the insulation is actually healthy. It can withstand the normal operating voltage. But when the system experiences abnormally high voltage, the insulation may still fail. Such abnormal voltages can be caused by switching surges or lightning surges. These high voltage surges may break down the insulation and create a fault. So, let us quickly revise. A fault is an abnormal condition caused by the reduction of insulation strength. It is considered a fault only when it causes excessive current or reduces the system impedance significantly. Power lines experience the maximum number of faults because they are long and exposed to the atmosphere. Finally, the two main causes of faults are breakdown at normal voltage due to insulation deterioration or accidental external causes. Breakdown due to abnormal voltage caused by switching surges or lightning surges. Now let us understand how insulation deteriorates. Today, electrical equipment is designed with a high level of insulation. But even with such a high insulation level, the insulation can still become weak over time. One important reason is pollution on insulators. In industrial areas, soot and cement dust get deposited on the surface of the insulators. Similarly, in coastal areas, salt carried by sea breeze gets deposited on the insulators. These deposits reduce the insulation strength. At first, they reduce the insulation resistance. As a result, a small leakage current starts flowing. This leakage current further speeds up the deterioration of the insulation. Now you may think that this problem happens only in outdoor equipment, but that is not true. Even in enclosed equipment such as sheath and armored cables and metal-clad switchgear, the insulation also deteriorates. The reason is simply aging. As the equipment becomes older, the insulation gradually loses its strength. There is one more important cause of insulation failure in underground cables. Inside the insulation, small empty spaces called voids can develop. These voids are formed because the insulating material continuously expands and contracts as the temperature rises and falls. Over time, these voids weaken the insulation and can eventually lead to insulation failure. So, to summarize this topic, even though modern equipment has insulation rated 3 to 5 times the normal voltage, insulation can still deteriorate. The main reasons discussed here are pollution by soot, cement dust, and sea salt. Leakage current caused by reduced insulation resistance, aging of insulation in enclosed equipment, formation of voids in underground cable insulation due to repeated temperature changes. These are the reasons explained in this section for the deterioration and failure of insulation. Now let us understand how these abnormal voltages are produced. One common reason is switching operations in the power system. Whenever switching takes place, a transient overvoltage can appear on the line and electrical equipment. This voltage rises very quickly. In some cases, its peak value can become almost 3 times the phase to neutral voltage. That is why, during the design stage, electrical equipment is provided with a higher insulation level. If the insulation has been selected correctly and it has not become weak due to the reasons discussed earlier, then the system can safely withstand these normal switching over voltages. But if the insulation has already developed some weakness, then a switching operation can cause the insulation to fail. Now let us look at another source of abnormal voltage. That is lightning. Lightning produces an extremely high voltage surge in the power system. The voltage can reach millions of volts. Because this voltage is so high, it is not practical to provide insulation that can withstand such an abnormal condition. Another important point is that lightning surges travel through power circuits at the speed of light. The factors that limit these surges are the surge impedance and the line resistance. So, to summarize this topic, switching operations create transient overvoltages that can reach nearly 3 times the phase to neutral voltage. A higher insulation level is provided so that the system can withstand these routine overvoltages. However, if the insulation has already become weak, switching can lead to insulation failure. Lightning is another major source of abnormal voltage. It produces surges of millions of volts, and these surges travel through the power system at the speed of light. What happens if a fault is not cleared quickly? The most serious result is fire. The fire may not remain limited to the equipment where the fault started. It can spread to other parts of the power system and may even lead to a total system failure. Now, among all types of faults, the short circuit is the most common. It is also the most dangerous. Let us see the problems that a short circuit can create. First consequence. A short circuit causes a large drop in the line voltage over a major part of the power system. Because of this voltage drop, the electrical supply to consumers gets interrupted. In industries, this can also lead to loss of production. Second consequence. A short circuit is almost always accompanied by an electrical arc. This arc can damage different parts of the electrical system. Third consequence. The fault also causes overheating. At the same time, it creates abnormal mechanical forces. Both of these can damage other equipment connected to the system. Fourth consequence. A short circuit can disturb the stability of the power system. If the disturbance becomes severe, it may even result in a complete shutdown of the entire power system. Fifth consequence. The voltage may fall so much that some relays having pressure coils may fail to operate properly. Sixth consequence. The voltage also reduces on the healthy feeders connected to the faulty system. Because of this reduced voltage, two things can happen. Either the motors may draw abnormally high current, or the no voltage coils of the motors may operate. If the motors stop because of the no voltage coils, they will have to be restarted. As a result, industries may suffer a considerable loss in production. So, to summarize this topic, an uncleared fault can cause fire and may even lead to total system failure. Since the short circuit is the most common and most dangerous fault, it can cause a large drop in system voltage, damage due to electrical arc, damage because of overheating and mechanical forces, disturbance in system stability, failure of relays having pressure coils, reduced voltage on healthy feeders leading to high motor current or operation of no voltage coils, which can ultimately reduce industrial production. These are the consequences of faults. Now let us look at fault statistics in a power system. It is useful to know how frequently faults occur in different types of equipment. This information helps engineers in the proper design of the power system and in selecting suitable protection schemes. Now let us see how faults are distributed among different equipment. Overhead lines account for 50% of the total faults. Cables account for 10%. Switchgear accounts for 15%. Transformers account for 12%. Current transformers and potential transformers or CTs and PTs account for 2%. Control equipment accounts for 3%. And miscellaneous equipment accounts for the remaining 8%. One important observation from this table is that overhead lines alone account for nearly half of all faults in a power system. Therefore, it is important to study the different types of faults that occur on overhead lines. In a three-phase system, when the insulation breaks down between one phase and earth, it is called a line-to-ground fault or a single-phase earth fault. When the insulation breaks down between any two phases, it is called a line-to-line fault. When the insulation breaks down between two phases and earth, it is called a double line-to-ground fault. And when the insulation breaks down between all three phases, it is called a three-phase fault. Before we move ahead, there is an important note about the three-phase fault. The LLL fault, also known as the symmetrical three-phase fault, generally occurs because of the carelessness of operating personnel. While carrying out maintenance work, the three-phase conductors are usually tied together using a bare conductor. This is done to protect the linemen from accidental energization of the line. However, sometimes after the work is completed, the tie conductor is accidentally left in place. If the circuit breaker is closed in this condition, a three-phase symmetrical fault occurs. Now let us look at another important point. In overhead transmission lines, the line-to-ground fault is the most common type of fault. Fortunately, many of these faults are temporary. They disappear automatically within a few cycles. For example, a tree branch may fall across a conductor and a crossarm. It may burn away or simply fall down, and the fault gets cleared. Finally, in our country, the neutral is not kept isolated. Because of this, earth faults produce fairly large fault currents. Therefore, while designing the protection system, special attention should be given to the reliable operation of relays during line-to-ground fault conditions. From the table, we can see the most common type faults is the single line-to-ground fault. Approximately 85% of all overhead line faults are L to G faults. Then, approximately 8% of overhead line faults come under line-to-line fault category. Double lines to ground type of fault occurs in about 5% of cases. Only 2% or even less of all overhead line faults come under LLL fault category. So that's all for this video. I hope you now have a clear understanding of the nature, causes, and consequences of faults in a power system. Remember, most faults begin with the weakening of insulation. If they are not detected and cleared in time, they can damage equipment, interrupt power supply, and even lead to complete system failure. If you found this video helpful, please like the video and share it with your friends and colleagues who are learning electrical engineering. If you haven't subscribed to Circuit Masterclass yet, make sure you subscribe and press the bell icon so that you never miss our upcoming videos on power systems, substations, transformers, switchgear, and electrical engineering concepts. If you have any questions or suggestions, let me know in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer them. Thank you for watching.